Now, more stories, insights, and analysis of Illinois policy and politics. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute. Once again, your host, AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Pat Hughes, co-founder of the Illinois Opportunity Project. And Pat, we talked about Senate Bill 1, the school funding bill, and we need to talk about CPS pensions because they're $10 billion in debt. And part of Senate Bill 1 is throwing a couple $100 million at them to stave off the wolves at the door for just a little while longer. But in addition to the debt and the dubious returns of late, CPS is also sending hundreds of millions of dollars to investment firms and hedge funds that are paid to manage their money. Chicago City Wire, one of my publications' analysis, found the Chicago Teachers Pension Fund paid out $516 million in investment fees over the past 14 years, which is the equivalent of 5.5% of the investment returns the funds earned. It's about $37 million a year. And we're talking about 53 firms I'll go through in a second, but just to give you an example. So you heard those numbers. It's a lot of numbers. So $560 million in investment fees over 14 years, $37 million a year, right? A story we did a couple months ago that I'll remind you of found that the City of Chicago Teachers Pension Fund in between 2015 and 2016, so July to June, the fiscal year, paid out $1.5 billion in benefits and earned $7.8 million on its investments. This according to filings it made with the Illinois Department of Insurance. So just set the table here, connect these numbers if I could for you. They between July 15 and June 16, $1.5 billion out into benefits to retirees. They earned $7.8 million in investments, and the average payment for all these 53 Wall Street firms managing their money is $37 million per year. So 5 times the return on investments in the last fiscal year, for example.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's incredible, Dan. The investors are kind of like the teachers in the Chicago Teachers Union. They get paid an inordinate amount of money for very tiny results. And it's almost fitting that those who are managing the money for the teachers, are most like the teachers who are not producing. And the fact that this doesn't make people across the state now with SB 1, right, and the fact that the financing from across the state is going to go to continue to buttress the spending and make, by the way, you talk about the boat we missed. We missed the boat of investing money for the teacher's pension because then you could make millions and millions of dollars and never have to produce anything. If this doesn't stoke a revolt among people that know that every dollar they make money, a bunch of it goes to pay some broker somewhere who isn't delivering results to sustain a pension fund that is unsustainable. If that doesn't get people upset and ready to change the way things are done, again, I say this all the time, I don't know what we can do to convince them.
And remember, the Democrats, they loathe Wall Street banks and hedge funds.
Unless
right?
they're accepting campaign contributions.
Right, unless they're, unless they're Neil Bloom's operation, who's a donor to Obama, as well as Blagojevich and Lisa Madigan and Dick Durbin, who runs Wall Street Capital, who also owns Rivers Casino and Des Plaines, who manages money. Or unless they're DV Urban, which was founded by Robert Vaneco, a nephew of former Chicago Mayor Richard Daley, and Allison Dave, and then the firm also includes Allison Davis, Obama's former boss and Southside political power broker. Or unless it's Attux Asset Management, run by Les Bond, who founded the firm in 2001 and contributed to the campaigns of Blagojevich and Todd Stroger and Democrat reps, state reps like Jay Hoffman and Will Burns and David Miller and Congresswoman Robin Kelly.
Yeah, but all you ever hear about, Dan, are Ken Griffin and Dick Uihlein and the Koch brothers. You never read a story about how the left, the big money on the left finances this criminality. You'll never read that in the Sun-Times. You might not even read that in the Tribune, and because it's all part of the same tied-in, juiced-in coalition.
Yeah, or, I don't know, John Rogers at Ariel Investments, or Capri Capital, led by Quentin Primo. Primo and Rogers, all major fundraisers for Barack Obama, who actually pressured state pension funds to steer business their way while he was a state senator, but he's Barack Obama. Primo is also business partners with real estate developer Tom Rosenberg, who's a top Democrat fundraiser, and also a top slumlord. I mean, it's just on and on and on. Billions of your dollars and millions of dollars to them, and the teachers allied with people who are cannibalizing them. I mean, that's the fascinating part too. Forget people paying the freight. The people who are doing all of the bidding for the Pauls that benefit from the fund managers that finance them, they're being carved up by them, and they're willing participants in their own demise. It's astounding.
It gives an opportunity. There's an opportunity here, and the governor has an opportunity. Down ballot, there's an opportunity. The resources are going to be there. There was an opportunity to use things like this to stoke the revolt and change the nature of how we do business in Illinois.
Let me know how it goes. I'm going to be in my castle in Ireland.